Welcome back to TheChowTimePod. It's your host, Red. I got a video today from Pea's World. Please like, comment, subscribe down below. I really appreciate that. Let's get that chow. It's chow time. This was actually sent to me by a female viewer that wanted to get my take on it. Let's check it out.
So we have a sad video today
Ooh.
by a YouTuber by the name of, I believe, Isis. And I hate to be proven right, but I was. All these sprinklers, all these trophy wife, hypergamous, looking for a provider, that's all well and good. Until you start overlooking things that actually matter, like morals, integrity, character.
I mean, how many of those people that have all those things are probably bad drug dealers? They do very bad things in life. Women don't care.
Then it becomes a problem.
Hi ladies, hi trophies, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here.
She looks so sad and defeated, but let's check out what the hell actually happened.
If you hear any noise in the background, that's the new baby. It's been a little over a month since I had to end up leaving my husband. It's like I built this channel and this whole brand around being
A wife?
this man's wife and trying to teach other women how to attract good men and provider men and all these different
Really? Good men? Is that what you were really teaching women out there?
things. And
Good and provider are not synonymous.
No, they're not.
Good and provider are not synonymous. Okay, let's get that straight. I know women who grew up with very wealthy fathers and have a lot of mental issues because of how abusive those men can be. Okay?
I truly held my husband, or saw him, as the bar for what every woman should, type of man that, or type of husband that every woman should aspire to have. And I didn't realize that the person I married was actually going to be my biggest nightmare.
Because you didn't look at the man's character, the man's morals, the man, anything other than the man had money. Now you have a child with this man.
So basically, when I first met my husband, as I've already talked about in another video, I think it was my single mom video, I explained, a little bit about how we met. And I really thought that man was my Prince Charming. So when I first met my husband, I thought that he was my Prince Charming.
So just a little bit of backstory for this woman. I believe that she was a single mother and she found a provider. She found a rich provider man. And she was teaching women how to find rich provider men, how to become the trophy wife. And she said one of her biggest inspirations was sprinkle.
I happened to come across Shira7 on YouTube, and she completely changed my life. And she basically taught me what a high value man is. And
She was the one that taught you that? Wow.
Sprinkle it.
I thought that he was my Prince Charming. I thought that he was my knight in shining armor, and he portrayed himself to be this amazing, upright, righteous Christian man. And I believed him.
Like, it's so disingenuous when you can hear her talk right now that she thought this was a upright standing. No, you took Sarah Seven's advice, which was to find a wealthy man. Didn't matter about his character, didn't matter about any of that, as long as he's willing to spend money on you. That was her take. So you saying all of this, that he was a great Christian man and all these things, is probably complete bullshit, right? Because that's not what you were looking for. You were looking for what Shira 7 told you to look for, which was just money. Always want to play that victim
I think
card.
shortly after we got married, and this is something that I haven't talked about, I started noticing like certain things changed with him. And I just started to see a few things that I didn't like. But
He's rich.
I honestly thought that some of these were things that I could get past.
That money, boy, that money be changing people's morals. That money be woo-wee.
Herpes. See, this is the problem I have with this. You're married. I don't think it should be considered grape if you're married. Like you should be giving up to your husband. This is the problem I have with this particular statement here. I'm not a big fan of the law when it's seen this way too.
It's like sad to even say like I could get past some of these things. I don't even know where to start. 6 weeks ago, I was changing my daughter, my 4-year-old daughter, and I noticed that when I changed her, she was...
All right, I'm gonna need to speed this up. This chick is taking way too long to be talking. I'm gonna at least put it at 1.25, guys. Bear with it.
red and very sensitive. And immediately, my first thought was, did someone touch her? Oh, God. Gosh.
Okay. You know me about kids. So if this is true, or if she's alluding to, I'm gonna probably not be siding with the gentleman. But again, you picked him. You did not vet this man in almost any way, shape, or form other than he had cha-ching.
So I asked her, I said, baby, did somebody touch you? And she ended up saying it was Daddy.
Okay. I have sympathy. And I feel bad right now. But it's not for her. Nothing for her. But the child...
This video should be a message to all the sprinkle, hypergamy provider, trophy wife, broke men are dangerous idiots.
A broke man is a dangerous man, and you have no business dating one. And I'm not talking about lavish dates and trips. I'm not talking about having a ridiculous standard and being shallow. I'm talking about the fact that when a man is at a point in his life and he is not able to do the most fundamental things for himself, he is at war with himself. And you will be the punching bag in the war that he is having in his own self. You do not want to be that.
That money isn't more important than a man's morals and character and values.
True.
And just because a man has money doesn't mean those morals, those values, his character is good.
True.
When you chase a provider, and you're chasing a provider like this, and this is what these women do. They go to specific places where these men are, they dress up, their entire existence is picking a man with money. You're like this. You don't look at everything else around you.
Yep.
Because you're so hyper.
Men are very similar to this too, right? Men, we're looking at the looks, the booty, the tits, the face. We get trapped. We focus too much on the beauty, and especially if we get a nice, gorgeous one that was probably slightly above our punching weight or punching level, we don't want to lose it. Why? Because she's so beautiful. It's the exact same thing. We overlook all the red flags. Why? Because them titties. We love them titties.
Fixated. And situations like this can occur and are more likely to occur when you're hyper fixated on one thing.
Exactly. This is why we try to tell men, vet women. Yes, they might look good, but looks aren't everything.
I felt like my world ended.
And again, I feel bad. Not for her, but for the child. Because this is ridiculous. And this is the shit these mothers put their children through. It's the biggest abuse that happens in the home when it comes to single mothers is the men that come into the kids' lives. And I know there's good men, but there's a chunk of bad men ready to take advantage because they know exactly what you're looking for. A provider. And plenty of men have a lot of money, but are very bad men.
On that day, my husband wasn't home at the time when she told me, but I knew he would be coming home soon, so all I could do was just say, "Don't tell him that you told me." And I just instantly started trying to think of how I could get my kids out of the house, because I knew if I confronted...
As someone who grew up on a Christian island, right? It's always those men in it. It's always the most devout, righteous, playing in front of the camera, clean-cut men that be doing the most deviant shit behind closed doors.
Agreed.
or asked him about it, that he would just lie, and that he would probably just continue to keep doing stuff to her, but just become more covert or more sneaky or whatever. As soon as my husband got home, he was actually picking up the boys from school, my two older boys from school.
Girl, how many babies do you have? Did you have 3 kids before you married this man? Oh my God.
As soon as he got home, I told him that I was gonna go Halloween shopping with my sister because I just needed an excuse to get out of the house with all the kids. And I knew if I said something like, "Oh, I'm going to the grocery store," that it would be suspicious. Like, why am I bringing all the kids and like packing things, like things that we would need and things like that. So going Halloween shopping was the best thing I could think of to just hurry up and get the kids out of the house. I'm sorry, I had to get myself together. So when I got to the hospital, they basically told me that we had to go to another hospital because they didn't do physical exams, like that kind of physical exam there.
Oh, I'm thinking P skipped ahead a little bit because we missed a little bit. But I think she took the child out to shop and then took her to go get checked out.
So a police officer escorted the kids and I to another hospital where they were able to evaluate my daughters. It ended up coming out that he had actually been touching both of my daughters, who are only 2 and 4 years old.
Oh.
Imagine what kind of like evil, disgusting person you have to be to do that. Like,
Oh. All right, guys, I gotta calm down. I got chills, and I'm a little upset now. Like, fucking fucks, man. Like, ooh, sha.
I don't even know, man. I can't even say. I can't even. I don't want to get my channel taken off.
It still feels like a dream. Like, when
And I'm not trying to diminish all of this or anything, but imagine as being the father, as in the actual father of the children, that your kids got taken away. Let's say if the father wanted to be in the kids' lives and the father found this out, if you guys found this out, I found this out, there's going to be some bodies. There's literally going to be some bodies if I found out both of my daughters were being, really? You disgusting piece of shit. I can't imagine how she feels and how the father would feel, but the other side of this is what happens. This is exactly what happens when women take children out of home, break families, and then just chase after money, chase after comfort. It never works out, hardly ever, and especially for the kids.
When this first happened, I just kept waking up every day and just hoping that this was a dream. Because it's literally my worst nightmare. It's my worst nightmare. I myself am a product of RAPE. That's how I came to be. And was also, abused as a child.
Cycle continues.
By a neighbor's husband. And
I just don't get it, bro. Like, it has to be social media, because as someone who was abused by a child, shouldn't a man's morals be like your number one thing, like his character, who he is as a person? Shouldn't that be the number one thing?
I would assume so, yes.
Instead of the idea of a provider and a luxury lifestyle, shouldn't it be, as someone who experienced, social media, everyone wants to live a life of luxury. Everybody wants to be like the people they see on the internet. And they're willing to give up things and do things that just don't make sense.
I specifically prayed to God that my children would never, ever, ever have to go through this. And I'm just...
Yeah, but you put your children in the position for this to happen. You had children out of wedlock. Apparently you seem to have like 3-4 children, right? You either broke the home or you made it with men that weren't shit, and then you looked for a provider man and didn't care about anything else. Again, I don't like victim blaming, but girl, the true victims are the kids, not you.
I'm not quite sure how this happened, why this happened.
We know exactly why this happened, right? We know exactly why.
I just don't know how he was able to get away with it and so sneaky, because with my own trauma, I watched my kids I watch my kids like a hawk. Like, I don't like them sitting on people's laps. None of that. And he knows how much I cannot stand men like him. And to think, like, I couldn't even go to sleep in my own house and know that my children are safe. Just by me going to sleep, my children were left unprotected. So I don't know what the future of this channel is going to be. I don't know if I'm going to change the name or what.
I think you should change everything about the channel. I think the idea of chasing... Look, firstly, let me just actually say this. I hope that man gets exactly what he deserves. He should be
agreed.
transferred to a different dimension. Let me just say that. Your entire channel should change. The idea of chasing a provider, stupid. Because again, it leaves you open to different types of abuse. And I said this, right? One of her big things is that she was a single mom and she was still able to attract a provider man. What did I say? And these are times where I wish I had an editor to just comb through my videos because I don't remember what video I said it, but I said it for 1,000,000% fact.
I feel the same way about P. Sometimes I hit a subject and I was like, oh man, I said a great thing in the last video. And it's like, I've done through 2,000 something videos. I'm not sure which video it was.
Why would a man with money and options date a woman with a child? It doesn't make sense. If he can find that same exact woman without a child, why would he pick her with a child? Unless him himself can't have kids or he likes kids. And I absolutely hate that I was proven right. But these blind spots are what can happen when you hyperfixate on one thing, like money. So look, am I blaming the mother for this? Am I blaming this YouTuber?
I'm going to put some blame on her, right? No, we can't just let her scave off. Like, not blameless. Yes, it's the gentleman and it's the man that did all the bad things. I 100% agree. I agree with you, P. He belongs in another dimension. Down in the earth dimension.
Of course not. It's not her fault. But she must take accountability.
There
she
you
must
go,
bear
brother.
this forever.
Agreed.
Knowing that her entire channel is about picking men. And she picked a man that done this. Yeah. Forever you must hold this. You must bear this forever. Because it's your job as a parent to protect your child. And when something happens to that child, you have to take accountability. So as I'm editing this video, I've seen this clip, right, on YouTube. I'm going to post a clip after I finish. If everything this guy is saying in the clip is true, I blame her. I give her 50% of the blame. Some of these accusations are crazy. And if they're real, she needs to feel so much guilt for the situation that she's put herself and her children in.
God damn it, P. You're going to make me even more upset.
Because what that man done to those kids could traumatize them forever. And that's on the decisions that she made, if what this guy is saying is true.
Ladies, welcome back to The New Trophy Wife.
You really do not want to know what I think of Isis, the new trophy wife, but because you all keep sending me the story, here we go.
I went from being a single mom to a spoiled housewife in less than 1
No, let me switch it back to normal speed. It actually worked out pretty well at 1.25 speed.
year. And you can too.
I'm truly heartbroken at the thought that her children were essayed by their own father.
Yeah.
But are we going to pretend like these are not things that happen when you're looking for a sponsor instead of a spouse? The new trophy wife has been making poor decisions her entire life.
Yep.
She started having children when she was 17 years old on purpose. The man that she married that ultimately essayed her children was old enough to be her father. You proposing to this man is the worst part of this entire story.
Wait. She proposed to him? Come on, man.
You went and bought this man a wedding ring, broke up with the man you were currently with, moved in with this new guy, all based on the love of his wallet. And unfortunately, your baby suffered the consequences of you marrying a perfect stranger. Speaking of which, why don't we know his name? Why haven't we seen his face? If you're going to spread awareness, if you're going to put this man on blast for doing such a horrible thing to your kids, why don't we know his name and why haven't we seen his face? Trophy wife, is that him? Is this monster your sponsor?
You know how I feel about kids. Men like that, yes, need to be out of this dimension immediately. But it's also women like that perpetuate the abuse of their children. Now their children are going to be in this state where they're going to be in the same shoes for their kids to get abused too. All because you wanted money? Married a complete stranger for money? You dirty. Please like, comment, subscribe down below. I really appreciate that. And catch you guys next time. Ciao.